probably heard the saying about Christmas being the most wonderful time of the year, but it only happens once a year in December, right? Well, we're not sure.
Especially thanks to Coast Country Cares, because they found a way to embrace the holiday spirit of giving back on the birthday of our great nation. So the question now is, how can you get involved? Well, we've got somebody here that can answer that question. Gary John from Coast Country 103.9 and 106.3 joins us in the historic Studio D this afternoon. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you so much for having me. It's good to be back.
So, Christmas in July, where did that come from?
So, everybody knows that since Coast Country's inception back in 2022, we have been kind of the quasi-radio hosts for Red, White, and Boom, which is the 4th of July celebration at James M. Bennett High School in Salisbury.
Yeah.
So, last year when I was there, or I wasn't there last year, but afterward, April Brilliant and I were having a discussion about the amount of people that were there. We do Coast Country Cares, sponsored by Spicer Brothers, every month. And we're always trying to find neat ways to help the community. So we thought, if we could turn Red, White, and Boom into a Coast Country Cares event, what a great impact we might be able to have.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it just so happened that around July last year, you hear all these businesses that are having their Christmas in July sales. So all of a sudden it just clicked. So April and I got in contact with our friends from Toys for Tots, asked them if this would be possible to do, and they said, absolutely, we would love it. So what we're asking folks to do is come to Red, White, and Boom to enjoy the 4th of July and the food trucks and the fireworks and the great show that they put on every year. But when you come, bring a new unwrapped toy that we can donate to Toys for Tots to help get a kickstart on the 2025 campaign.
What a great idea. Okay, so what kinds of toys? Does it matter?
So the mindset typically is if you think about anything that would fit for a 3-year-old to a 14-year-old. Okay. So if it's kids' toys like Legos and blocks or puzzles, board games are always a winner. For the older kids, it does get a little trickier, but you can maybe find those handheld video games. Books are always a good idea, especially for the teenage. They love. I guess I'm a little past Twilight at this point, but there are other series like those that you could do. So anything like that would work. The only thing you want to avoid is plush. They can't take any stuffed animals or plushes, but anything else will certainly be welcomed.
Why is this an event that Coast Country Cares gets involved with?
Well, again, thanks to Spicer Brothers for spearheading this campaign, but we feel like, and our founder Tom Draper had this mission that it's our duty to serve the community. I mean, that's what we're here for. So every month it's fun to find a nonprofit organization or just a need in the community that we can be the bullhorn for, to just step up and say, you know what, we're here to help, and we're going to enlist our listeners to do so. And the country radio community has always been super generous, and we've seen the fruits of that over the last few years.
Yeah. All right, and you mentioned you do it every month, so what's on the horizon for Coast Country Cares?
Well, we've got some exciting things on the horizon. In August, we're going to do a school supply drive. My friend April Brilliant will be hanging out at the North Salisbury Wawa on August the 16th, asking you to bring by, it could be as simple as a pack of erasers, but pencils, crayons, pens, book bags. We'll take all that stuff, and we've found several organizations on the peninsula that do free book bags, so we just want to try to help and spread the wealth as much as we can. I believe we're going to be back out at Jesse's Paddle in September, which is an amazing event for suicide prevention. If you haven't heard about that, you can go to jessespaddle.org to learn more. But Jesse Clump's mother, I met her last year and was there, and it was just amazing to see the community come together for a subject that not a lot of people want to talk about, because it is so sensitive, and you always want to think, well, that's not going to happen to me. But so those are the two that are coming up right around the corner. But you can always keep up with what we're up to at coastcountry.com.
Coastcountry.com.
And the event is, again, July 4th?
Yes, 4th of July, James M. Bennett High School. The fun starts at 6. You can spend the whole twilight of the evening there with a huge fireworks display that starts right around 9:15. We'll be the soundtrack to the whole event, and we would love it if you'd bring a new unwrapped toy to help for our Coast Country Cares drive, sponsored by Spicer Brothers.
Coast Country's Gary John. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.